Franchise Sports Media!
What's going on, fight fans? Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media. I'm your host, Kalani Lua, and man, oh man, I tell you, we got some interesting things going on in the world of combat sports. We are just over 2 weeks away from Allegiant Stadium. Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford. The fight of the year. It is happening. It is going to be live. It is going to be electric. It is going to be a great time. We're going to have a special show lined up for you guys for that. But let's dive into some MMA news, a little bit of boxing, maybe some pro wrestling. We'll see where the show goes. So, this past weekend, we had a UFC fight card take place. It was a fight night card that went on in China. Shanghai, China. So you know it was early in the morning. Man, oh man, these cards are awesome, but it is a struggle to get through. But it was interesting to see this layout here. The main event saw a light heavyweight bout between Johnny Walker upsetting Zhang Mingyang via TKO in the second round. Walker, one of the fighters who many felt was going to be a bright star in the UFC at the light heavyweight division, potential title contender / maybe champion. Very charismatic. He has unique celebrations, got a tremendous look, and very well-rounded in skill set. But during one of his celebrations, he suffers a shoulder injury trying to do the worm. Hey, man, it happens. And then when he came back, he just seemed to not necessarily be himself on a consistent basis. Some knockouts, some losses, up and down, win some, lose some. Kind of felt like, okay, is he just going to be a journeyman now? Let him get healthy. Zhang was supposed to be, hey, maybe this is the next guy to come up and somebody that we can now promote and be on the rise. And Johnny Walker said, no, hold the phone. He gets the victory here, moving forward at the 205 division. It's going to be interesting to see what matchup for Johnny Walker is going to be next. And where does Zhang go from here? While it's an upset, I don't feel that he should be low on the totem pole as far as like, hey, he needs to fall all the way back down. He lost to a very good Johnny Walker. So we'll see how it goes. The big headline of this UFC Fight Night was outside of the cage. Unfortunately, he was able to fight, but oh boy, it's time. It's time. The co-main event saw Aljamain Sterling taking on Brian Ortega, supposed to be in a featherweight division, supposed to be at 145. Aljamain Sterling made weight. He had an elbow injury in the fight. He posted on there. Boom! Got a softball in his elbow. Speedy recovery, Aljo. But Brian Ortega once again misses weight. Once again struggles to make the cut to 145. They had to do a catchweight bout at 153. Brian Ortega at times for the weigh-in looked like he was about to fall over and tip over. I mean, if the AC would have been on just a little bit higher, he would have went over. Timber! Man, from someone, Brian Ortega, who was supposed to be the next guy. I mean, he had the look. Ladies loved him. Charisma, the long hair, the bright eyes, well-versed in jiu-jitsu, could stand up and crack with you, had good power, aggressive, came from California, had that subtle, hey, man, I may look like a pretty boy, but I gets down and scrap. All heart, determination. This guy was everywhere. He was hanging out with Halle Berry, started doing some small roles in movies and guest appearances in TV shows. Very marketable. Had a good name to him, came from a great camp. Someone you could say, hey, this could be someone we could put up there and say, yeah, this is one of our guys. He got victories over Frankie Edgar. He got victories over Cub Swanson. Looked great. 16-5, good record, 8 submissions, looking good. Unfortunately, things just didn't go well when he stepped up in competition. He is now 2-5 in his last 7. And what's interesting is he was 14-0 when he defeated Frankie Edgar. Now, some people might say, hey, this is old man Frankie. This isn't the same Frankie Edgar who was dominating 155. Okay. But you signed the dotted line. You stepped in there. You got to do what you got to do. But he gets the highlight reel knockout over Frankie Edgar, something we don't really see happening whatsoever. Then he goes and challenges Max Bless Holloway. Bruh, from the islands. Max does him out, 2-piece and a biscuit with a grape soda. And then he just doesn't seem to be himself anymore. Brian Ortega has moments of looking great. almost submitted the champion, Alexander Volkanovski. Almost had him in the guillotine, head was turning red like a strawberry. Looked like that was it. Volk gets out. The Aussie says, no. Aussie. We're going to fight to the end. And yet you look at it and say, okay, Brian Ortega, when he steps up, it seems like he might be one of those fighters that struggles when he's in the bright light, when he's in that moment, when he's in the moment of taking the next step, when he's in there against a different level of an opponent, he's not the same fighter whatsoever. And it's sad because he's shown time and time again he's a tremendously gifted fighter. But maybe the weight cut down to 145 just isn't something his body could do anymore. He's only 34 years old. So he's not an old man. He's not. But he's not a young pup either. Now trying to cut down to 145, buddy, that's enough. Move up to 155. Do what Dustin Poirier did. Do what Charles Oliveira did. Do what Max Holloway is doing right now. And move on up. Allow your body to be, hopefully, at full strength and recovery at 155. You feel a little bit better, a little lighter on your feet, a little stronger, and now you can go out there and showcase the well-rounded skills we know you have. But unfortunately, you're trying to cut down to 145, and whether it's because he feels, hey, I'll have the size advantage over most fighters in this division, his trainers and his coaches and his management feel like, no, this is the best place to do it, easiest path to the title, X, Y, and Z. No more. Brian Ortega, please move up to lightweight. Please move up to 155. We, the MMA community, are asking you, pleading with you, leave featherweight alone. It was a great run. You made your mark. It just wasn't meant to be for you to be the champion there. Move on to greener pastures at 155 to see if you can go and capture what we all saw at one point was the potential for you to be the guy. Aljamain Sterling gets the victory, steps up, fights an opponent that misses weight, but with the elbow injury, as I mentioned earlier, where does that set him back? We'll see if he is out for a long period of time, or if he's able to say, hey, I'm out for a little bit longer than I would want to, but I could bounce back early 2026 and whatnot and come back better than ever at 145. Hey, there's a couple of matchups here I'd like to take on, so let's see what we can do here. Squabble, wobble. Let's get it happening. Flojo, Aljo, let's do it. So very happy for Aljamain Sterling to go out there, get the victory, and move on. And then, again, for Brian Ortega, hopefully he gets some act right to him and moves on up to 155 and gets himself settled there with everything that's going on. I found interesting Daniel Cormier, two-division champion, UFC Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats. If not for a certain opponent by the name of John Jones, who? If not for him, DC might be considered the greatest of all time. Now, granted, Stipe beat him, but then DC came back, but then Stipe beat him again. They went at it, right? But Pete Daniel Cormier is John Jones. Well, he was on Shannon Sharp's podcast. Shout out to Uncle Shay Shay. And it's interesting how he was talking about the weight cutting. And I'm bringing that up because we was just talking about Brian Ortega. And he was talking about, hey, when I'm coming in and I was in my peak shape, I was at like 222. And I had to get down to 205. And I only got to be that much, 204, 205, for an hour and get down there. And what's interesting, when I had Melvin Whitehead on here as well, and we've talked with others as well, Destiny McCummon, about cutting weight, the mentality it takes to be a certain weight and to be able to cut down and to be able to knock it out the park and land on your spot where you're supposed to, it takes so much out of you. And as we get older, it's tougher and tougher and tougher. Trust me, I personally know, and we all know out there, it's tougher to drop this weight down, even if you're at the highest level of being an Olympic athlete, a UFC athlete, a boxer, X, Y, and Z. So it's nothing easy. But I found it interesting how DC was talking about, hey, the mentality of fighters moving up and down, because, again, he fought at heavyweight and at 205, and this goes into why the UFC should have the more weight classes. And I know Dana White has always said, no, we do that. We're going to water down the divisions. We're going to have guys who are going to be moving around who weren't good enough here, aren't good enough there. No, but I ask this. When you added in 145, the ones who had 155 that tried to move down 145, how many of them weren't good enough at 155 that dominated 145? None. Frankie Edgar tried it, had a great run. He never became champion. Charles Oliveira tried it. Anthony Pettis tried it. The weight cut was too much for them. Jose Aldo said, I moved from 145 down to 135. Ate a whole bunch of salads, lost all the weight, done good. He's not a champion there. This idea of adding more weight divisions, you're only going to water down divisions. No. You're going to expand them. You're going to make them better. I've always stated this. It should be 10-pound increments all the way up to lightweight. 125, 135, 145, 155. Move 170 up to 175, put 165 right in there, 185, middleweight. Now you got 195, then you got 205. Bam! Now you have the guys, the tweeners right in between. Hey, now my navigation system is a little bit easier on where I want to go. 155 to 170, that's a big dramatic difference right there. Oh, it's only 15 pounds, guys have done it before. Yes, but think about it. If I'm cutting down to 170, I'm probably walking around somewhere close to 200 pounds. If I'm cutting down to 155, unless I'm Islam or Max Holloway, I'm probably not getting too far up above 175 to make that cut down. We saw with Max Holloway the second time he fought Dustin Poirier, when he stepped up to 155, he hadn't allowed his body to fully grow to cut down to 155. They look like two different human beings in there. They look like guys who were in three weight classes apart from each other. We saw the same thing with Forrest Griffin when he fought Rich Franklin, and Rich Franklin looked like, okay, this really is a middleweight taking on a heavyweight against Forrest Griffin. I mean, there was a point where Forrest Griffin's back overshadowed Rich Franklin where you couldn't even see Rich. You're like, wait, where's Rich? I know he's in a fight. I can see his legs. Can't see the rest of his body. Got Cobra back from Forrest Griffin. So these dramatic weight differences between the classes, 170 to 185, even Georges St. Pierre, whoops, even he was just like, yeah, moving up to 185, I had to get surgery on my internal organs because it damaged me. Because moving up that much is not just me getting up to 185. I got to get my body past that to a limit where when I cut down to 185, I feel like a natural middleweight, as opposed to, hey, this guy, Anderson Silva's cutting from 220, 215 down to 185. Guess what he's going to rehydrate up to? When Daniel Cormier on Shannon Sharp's show talked about, I think it was the Rumble Johnson fight. He weighed in at 204. Night of the fight, he was 231. Come on, man. Now, me as a smaller guy, you want me to go in there now and take on guys who's going to be that much bigger than me? Because if I'm a small dude naturally and I'm trying to eat extra burgers and some pizzas and some more carbs in me and whatnot to put on some extra mass, and I'm cutting down, my body is not going to be accustomed to rehydrating back up. And now I'm at 215, 220. No. So, and tying it in with Brian Ortega needing to move weight classes, it would behoove, there's a word I haven't heard in a while, the UFC to add more weight classes. And when you add more weight classes, the problem with boxing and all the other divisions, the divisions are not the problem. That's easy to follow. Some of the naming of the divisions might be difficult. It's the amount of titles. It's like, wait, he won a title, but he has a title. So he beats him. Now he has 2 titles. But wait, there's another guy that has a title. He beats him. Now he has 3 titles. Then there's this guy who has a title. Oh, there's this guy. We didn't even know he's got a title. I got to face 5, 6 dudes to be considered the unanimous champion of this division. No. The UFC won't be bothered with that. They're going to go ahead and say, hey, we got 1 champion in this division, maybe an intern champion. That's it. The BMF title is going to be floating out there, sure. But we're not adding all these other divisions, the WBC, the IBF, the ABC, the 1, 2, 3, the ATL, the hey, shouty. None of that. This is just simply, hey, man, you're the champion at 195. If you're injured or out for a prolonged period of time for whatever reason, if Dana White seems it necessary, we're going to have an intern champion. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm surprised that they don't do more intern champions for the number 1 contender. Because if you fight to be the number 1 contender, and that's going to be the intern title, you put a title on you. Now, you're the next guy in line for a shot. You do it. You can build up the whole champion versus champion angle, which looks good on the poster. You both get your belts up there. Some fighters don't like it, but I don't know. I think that would kind of be interesting to sell point. We know TKO needs to get their money back. They're charging us $5,000 for nosebleed tickets for Fight Night cards, so you might as well go ahead and try to get the most out of it and promote another champion there. Now you just got 2 titles in the division. There you go. And second title, that doesn't bounce around. That only sticks there for the number 1 contender spot so that they could unify for the main one when he takes on the main champion. That's it. Easy peasy, simple squeezy. As I said earlier, we are over 2 weeks away from Canelo taking on Terrence Crawford. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about it right now, because we are going to do a main show on it right here on the main event on Franchise Sports Media, where I have some guests coming in, and we're going to talk more about it. But it's one of those where You're starting to see the posters pop up. You're starting to see the billboards. You're starting to see on the digital screens advertising going up. The buzz around the city when a big fight is in town, it's electric, and it vibrates through the whole town. When Floyd Mayweather was active, the week of, you feel it, right? You feel that energy from the fight week. I can't even imagine what it was like when Mike Tyson was here at his peak, and then others before that. But it is going to be very interesting in today's day and times how things are going to feel for this magnitude of a fight. It's in a stadium. You want it to look good. Ticket prices would be nice if they was lower, but you want it to look good. The vibration of it. And what's awesome between these two, it's a competitive rivalry, so it's not gotten personal. It's two guys literally saying, hey, I'm the best. No, I'm the best. Well, let's find out. Crawford saying, I'll be a huckleberry. I'll step on up. Canelo all these times saying, that's a small guy. What does it do for me? Well, if you don't want to fight David Benavidez, that's who you got to fight. Terence Crawford. Sorry, David, you got to wait. I'm going to take on Bud. So it's going to be very, very fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very interesting to see the layout, the energy of it. But I cannot wait for these two to go out. It's going to be on Netflix, so nobody has an excuse on why they can't watch it, unless obviously you're working or doing stuff with your family. But we should all be tuned in. It's going to be electric. It's going to be a great time. I'm telling you, man, those pictures and videos we see in the Bud, whoo-wee. But then again, Canelo, we know Canelo likes to get his USDA-approved beef from, that has the extra, stuff in it and everything. Make them look a little, We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Guess what? Shortly after that, we got Power Slap. That's coming back out here. October 3rd, right here at in Las Vegas, Power Slap 15. That's going to be going down. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we cannot wait to talk about it. Speaking of can't wait to talk about, so in the UFC right now, they're trying to look for stars. Conor McGregor's been gone. John Jones recently just retired. In the world of boxing, you have your stars, but it almost feels like because the fights are so spread out, who's your main guy outside of Canelo? There's a couple names out there. Tank Davis, but now they're mentioning he's retiring. The heavyweight division, it felt like it was going to be Tyson Fury, but he lost to Usyk. Usyk is great, but he's not, I don't know. It feels like Usyk is great, but he's great over there. He hasn't done enough on this side of the pond to have the fan base rabid when he fights, but he just made $130+ million in his last one. He don't need to come over here to the States with everything that's going on. The world of pro wrestling, there's always somebody next. Right now, it's Cody Rhodes, it's Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, but John Cena's going to retire. And it got me thinking, like, in sports, we do so much of covering these athletes, talking about them, breaking it down, the matchups, what happened, what to expect, what's next. Sometimes we miss sitting back and enjoying the greatness that is in front of us. We spend so much time wanting to pick apart, needle, do every single detail, criticize this, and yet we're missing greatness right in front of us. Some of it is forced, because you get some athletes who go out there and really make it hard to root for them. Some athletes go out there and because of whether it's injuries, contract disputes, or whatever, they're not as active sometimes, or you get someone like John Jones. Hey, man, you've had a lot of running problems outside the cage, off your fighting days, that it does at times make it hard to root for you, John. Conor McGregor, same thing. Personal life, holy hell. Really makes you miss guys like Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre and Demetrius Johnson, doesn't it? But to me, and I try to explain on this on the show, I try to make sure that while I'm going to be fair in talking about athletes, whether it's on the good side or the bad side, my bad side is just what I'm seeing from an observation standpoint. I don't try to break these guys down for clickbaits or for trending viral moments or anything like that because, hey, they're entertaining us. They get paid for the attempt. That's it. I get paid for the attempt, just like Evel Knievel. Hey, man, I'm going to try to jump over all these buses. Maybe I make it, maybe I don't. I'm a comedian. I'm going to try to tell these jokes. Maybe they're funny, maybe they're not. But the attempt is going to be there, and I'm going to try to do my best because I'm an entertainer at the end of the day. And sometimes I feel when I look online or I'm out at sports bars or I'm around people who watch it, and it's not necessarily my circle of friends that I watch it, that I know we appreciate the fights, it feels like we're always trying to find ways on why we don't like somebody, why we can't root for somebody, why we want to go against them. We don't want to see greatness, but we want greatness. We don't want to root for somebody who's awesome, but awesome is what sells. It's a weird dynamic that we have there with all athletes, right? With all athletes that we look at it. Oh, we always have to find something. And again, they do give us reasons for it, but then it's also interesting because there's companies out there we support all the time. They give us plenty of reasons not to like them. There's plenty of bosses out there who give us every reason in the book not to like them. There's others out there who are partners in crime. They give us a whole bunch of reasons not to be fans of theirs, yet we stick it out. Yet when it comes to athletes, it feels like over the last 20, 25 years, the scope has been, hey, let's not appreciate the greatness, let's criticize everything about them. Doesn't matter if they're undefeated, got one loss, or they got the most title wins, or the most title defenses, or whatever the case may be. Let's just find a reason to not like them. Oh, they're too vanilla. Oh, they're too much over the top. Oh, they don't have a certain look. Oh, they got too much of the good look. Oh, they say these sort of things. Oh, they don't say this. Oh, he's got a big personality. He has no personality. X, Y, and Z. And it's like, okay, we're never going to be satisfied. But what we're never going to do is get time back. We're never going to get some of these moments back. Think about this. I still remember when I went to go see John Jones and Daniel Cormier had their face-off at the MGM Grand, and they got into that scuffle. I hopped up on stage and everything, and it helped Heidi Fane to get hit in the head by a shoe that Daniel threw. Boop! No, true story. I remember that moment. I remember sitting there and asking my buddy Leo, hey, who's the dude over here that everyone keeps trying to get autographs and pictures from? Oh, that's a dude named Conor McGregor. He's from Ireland. He's supposed to be a big deal, man, so we'll see. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, Mr. McGregor, can I get a... Didn't know he was going to be, Mystic Mac. But you remember those sort of things. I remember being in the arena when John Jones and Daniel Cormier fought. I remember being in the arena when Anderson Silva and Nick Diaz fought. I remember being at WrestleMania when John Cena came out. Granted, I wish he was coming out as the John Cena we truly know and not the heel John Cena. We got the heel John Cena a little bit too late. But one thing, you remember those moments. You remember where you was at, how it made you feel, the nostalgia factor of it. And what I feel like so many of us ruin it today is instead of remembering and being present, we're looking too much into the future, or we're stuck too much on the past where we're not allowing anything in the present to shine and be great as well. Oh, no, these guys are good, but they're not as good as these guys when I was growing up. Oh, I mean, these guys are good, but what's next? No. You won 7 in a row, but what's next? Can you win 7 more in a row? Hey, man, relax. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the night. Enjoy it. When I'm on an FSM prep rally, it's, hey, man, yeah, we got a schedule. But it's 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time, 1 fight camp at a time, 1 fight at a time, 1 match at a time, 1 show at a time. And that's all it is. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but we got to be in the present. And I just wanted to address that because, again, when I go online and whether it's announcements or fighters speaking out on this or something being mentioned and it's not overly controversial, just a simple big fight news coming up, can't wait to tell y'all, stay tuned. And then you just go in and you see all the hate that comes with it. It's like, what the hell? Why can't we just appreciate something in the moment while it's here? But I guess we're just a bunch of knuckleheads like that. We figured it out in the end anyways, and internet's not real, so can't really dive into that too much. But I'll tell you what, we can dive into more combat sports coming your way right here on the main event on Franchise Sports Media. Stay tuned for more. We have a lot more coming up. Like I said, we're going to have a special edition episode right here on the main event for the Canelo Crawford match coming up. I'm going to have some guests on as well, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to go to Franchise Sports Media, like, share, and subscribe for all your needs of combat sports and other sports alike as well. This is the main event. I'm your host, Klein Lil. Till next time, fight fans. Peace.